Ben Amarfio was a big boss of Triple M at the time, and he went on to do great things at Cricket Australia. He's a long-term favourite here at Triple M. He happened to be in the box at the time. Benny, thanks for coming back to your old home this morning.
Yes, Das. Thanks. Good to be here.
We're very excited to have you in because you're an eyewitness. Like, we've just heard the audio, but you were actually there that day. So talk us through what you were doing in the box that day.
Well, it was... I don't like to go to the box because I don't want to be seen as being a flog and all this sort of stuff. So we were entertaining clients in our own box, a private box, and a couple of the guys said, look, we'd love to go and see the guys in the box. And I thought, oh, okay, well... And I'd been talking up all of our boys saying, you know, listen, you've got to spend more money with us. You know, the camaraderie between our guys is so much better than these other clowns at AW and SEN. None of those blokes get on. The camaraderie with our people is unbelievable, second to none. You know, it's special chemistry that we've got. It's a family. Yes.
Can you remember who was with you at the time, Benny? Or?
I don't. Someone will know. Fee will probably know.
That's part of our investigation.
Yes.
If you were the sponsor with Ben Amarfio, we want to find out who was there.
Certainly wasn't the House of Wellness, that's for sure.
So was there a tension in the box when you walked in? Did you get the feeling that something was about to happen, or did this come out of nowhere?
No, I didn't. Mind you, you know, you never know with Jason. Jason can be a bit irascible and grumpy at times.
There's an understatement.
Yeah, so, and I think there'd been a bit of tension, you know, during the season, a bit with Quarters and anyway. So he was ready to explode anyway. So this was the thing that just sort of tipped him over the edge.
And normally if you're you're broadcasting and your boss, Ben Amarfio, walks in, Ben's got a pretty big presence about him. You might sort of change your behaviour at the time, but that is a bit of an insight into the characters we're talking about. Did they know you were there or not?
No, they wouldn't have known because I was standing at the back of the box. I just slipped in quietly with the sponsor.
So what was the look on their faces when they turned to walk to the back of the box as they stormed out and there you are standing?
No, I think when the red mist comes in, Ed, I don't think anyone cares.
One of the stories you've told me before, Ben, is your favourite part of this for me is, did you have to try and coax Quarters back in on air?
Well, Quarters left, and so we were left with no host because he was hosting, and Hamish was trying to host.
Yeah, Hamish jumped straight in. Right, it's one of our favourite moments. So, Steve-o.
Actually, there was another little bit in there you haven't heard either. When Quarters says you've tipped a whole tray of rice on me, Jason tries to underplay it and says, it's only a few crumbs. Yeah. If you listen carefully,
not a whole tray. Well, this has been the observation over the years. You have to make the chief pretty angry to throw away food.
Well, that was my point, because after all of this happened, I got a phone call, because it blew up, obviously, and the Herald Sun were all over it. And so it might have been Daryl Timms or someone. I don't know who it was. You know. So Timms gives me a call. He says, were you shocked about, you know, what happened in the box? And, you know, are you going to sack him? And I said, well... I was surprised, but I was more surprised that Jason was throwing away food. I've never seen him throw away food before.
And is it true that when Quarters was at the back of the box, you're trying to coax him back in?
Well, yes. So he went out in the back. So he was in that general area where all the people go in the breakout area. And so I've gone out there. And I was trying to keep a straight face because I look at him and he's got this beautiful sort of gelled hair. Yeah. And he would have had like 13 pieces of rice wedged in his hair. And so he was really upset. He was indignant and he's like, how upset he was. And I'm trying to keep a straight face. And all I can look at is these pieces of rice in his hair.
Do you remember the words? Yes. How did you get him back in the box?
Well, I said, well, what do you want? What do you need? And he said, well, I want an apology. And so I've gone back in, trying to get cheap to apologise. I wouldn't apologise to his mother. So I've gone back in and I said, what's going on with you big bear? You got out of bear the wrong side. I said, you need a cut-off. Give me a cut-off. So I gave him a hug because just, you know, bring the mood down. And I said, what's wrong? He said, and he started going off on me. I said, mate, calm down. I said, it's all fine. I said, but we've got to get the show going. And I said, you need to apologise because that was out of order. I'm not bloody apologising. I've cleaned that up.
Yeah. Which is unlike you.
We've got a dump button here. And so eventually he acquiesced and said that he would. And then I said, went back out to Quarters and said, well, Quarters, he's going to apologise. So you got to come back in, but get rid of that rice.
I want to hear the apology because you want to speak about something being disingenuous. Chief apologising for his own actions. We need to find that, Rosie, if we can.
Yep, I'll get you in onto it.
And
right
what happens?
after the
What happens after this? Because there's got to be. Is there fallout from an incident like this?
Well, yes, because the Herald Sun were all over it because they wanted him sacked.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and on
That's
Twitter,
right.
and obviously Twitter and all the rest of it wanted him sacked, and I was
Sacked.
outraged. And so I said to Chief, I said, listen, mate, we need to have a coffee on Monday. So we went downstairs to the coffee lounge, and I said, mate, okay, I understand it, and I get it. I said, look, you can get away with that once only. I said, you do that again. I said, once, spur of the moment, all this sort of stuff, and you can sort of pass it off. I said, but you do it again, everyone just thinks you're a flog, and I've got no choice. So just sort yourself out.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the great football commentators too, Jason Dunstall, and a great identity. And at that stage was he was the footy director at Hawthorn, wasn't he, at that stage?
He was, and Trent Crowe was the player they were talking about, and it was a fairly personal thing for Chief, and knew exactly what Trent Crowe was up to at the time.
Going through, and Quarter's story was right.
Yeah.
So it was a coming together of rock and a hard place, wasn't it?
Can I ask you a question, Benny? We're trying to go back and do a deep dive into this. Our chances of getting Jason to talk about it with a sense of humour, what do you think?
Well, I don't think. I think your producers have been trying to get him. I bluffed. I was told, everyone's in, Ben. You need to come in because everyone said yes.
Well,
but I get here today. There's no Jason. There's no Quarters.
Quarters is
Everybody else is in for the week. We've locked them all in.
Except the main person.
Except for the Chief. There's still a question mark over the Chief.
Well, Chief's got a great sense of humour, so I'm sure he'll do it. But it's funny, it's funny though because this caused such a stir 10 years ago. And yet, I watch that show he does on Sunday night, and he does that every Sunday night to Teddy.
Turned it into a routine.
And now everyone laughs about it, thinks it's great entertainment.